the audience is all yours. Please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about the future of World of Tanks PC. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, it's great to see you all here. My name is Miloš Jeřábek. I'm the World of Tanks Development Director. Usually located in Minsk, flying all over the place when necessary. I'm responsible for the development and driving the forces home in a bit.
Hey everybody, I'm Thaine Lyman. I'm the product director for World of Tanks PC, so I'm kind of the end point on it. I run all the functions, everything around the world for World of Tanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Artiom Muraska and I'm a publishing producer for European office of World of Tanks PC.
I'm going to guess that people want to hear more about what we're doing next.
Exactly, so guys, straightforward, what we are going to do next.
Well, we want to click forward a little bit. We've got just one or two things that we've been talking about. Look, honestly, I said this in the main presentation as well earlier. The 2016 work, I feel really proud of what the team managed to put together. I think we did good stuff. We got some good, player convenience features out, right? Sound, physics, optimization on the spotting system, some engine updates and things like that. A lot of, sort of player convenience features, best of mods, things like that. But that's just scratching the surface. The stuff that players have really been wanting for a long, long time now. 2017 is finally the year that we're going to hit a lot of those things. We've heard you, believe me, we've heard you, and we're going and getting them on these. So we can talk about there's some of the changes that are going on inside of the tech trees. Maybe start there, and then there's some other cool stuff that we can roll out as well. Miloš, why don't you hit these?
Sure thing. So, yeah, we are introducing a lot of new vehicles, but of course we didn't forget about the old tank trees, especially the oldest. So, first of all, during the next year, we will be reworking the German tech tree to actually get a little bit more meat there. So, first of all, the first big change is that we will actually create new tanks for the mouse. So for the tier 8 and tier 9 are not going to be anymore the VKs, but we will actually create new VKs that will be way closer to the gameplay and to the style of mouse. With the tier 9 motion, that's actually a really beautiful looking tank. It's mouse, but it's not mouse. It's sort of like halfway there. It was one of the prototypes for it, and it's actually really pretty cool tank. Of course, the gameplay there will be around really good gun with really solid armor, while unfortunately not being super fast, right? As mouse is definitely not going to actually drive around like crazy. And on the other side, we will actually introduce another tank for the previous VK45s, VK72. That will be way more in the style of the previous ones. But that's actually not the only change that we are planning to do. Another change that we are planning is to fix the Panther 1 and Panther 2. Not the greatest. Back in the days they were really good, but with introducing the new vehicles, they a little bit rusted. So now we are actually going to give them a little bit of meat in there, and at the same time we will be actually doing small updates on the Tiger line around, again, the gun handling mostly, and slightly around the armor.
Cool. From my side, I want to just point out that, hey guys, those who are playing Clan Wars, don't be freaked out that way. So you will keep your VK top tier vehicle. On top of this, you will get awesome customization, like unique camos, which will show that you actually obtained this vehicle during Clan Wars event. For the other guys, from that moment, they will be able to open it to grinding heavy tanks.
I think you'll see, the sort of the philosophy behind a lot of the changes that are being made to the line. Obviously there's player comfort, there's making sure that the quality of the tanks is good on the line, but also, one of the things that Slava, our creative director, who's one of the OGs of tanks, who's now back into the fold and is a big part of the recharge for us. He really wants to make sure that what we've got are nice, sort of consistent lines, right? Where the play experience is less sort of jagged, and significantly different from piece to piece to piece. So you'll see that, whereas you start a line, you'll have a feeling where it's more sort of, okay, I'm doing this, and now I'm doing a little higher tier version or a higher tier version. Create more consistency as we go along.
Cool. So, just one thing, all German guys, sorry, I know most of you already noticed that tier 9 vehicle is spelled without one C, but for English-speaking guys, it's okay, because it's still motion, but for Germans, please do not blame us, because that's how we just prepare presentation. Anyway, thank you for pointing this out. Now we're moving to another nation, which will receive some love from us. Guys, can you comment on our Japanese phase?
Yeah, here, Miloš, why don't you hit just, the next couple here?
Of course. So, as you could see on the battlefield, Type 4 and Type 5 are not exactly most played tanks in the battlefield. And we know this. We know that they actually need some love and some improvements. The Japanese heavy line is overall known by the amazing guns on the tier 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, the guns are crazy damage, HE shells. And we would like to actually deliver exactly this to the tier 9 of that. Basically to continue, as Thaine said, to continue the structure of the line. And with this, we believe that actually these armored beasts will actually appear on the battlefield way more. We are still going to improve slightly the tanks in the tier 6 to tier 8 to make sure that actually the grind is a little bit easier. And again, we'll be trying to hold the division of the line as one piece.
Okay, guys, and anything else? Like, can you comment on American Thaine or Miloš?
So on the American side, we know that when we were introducing the game, T28 and T95, they were really powerful. But now with introducing the new models of the tanks, they are a bit too slow. So in the upcoming patches, we will actually boost their speed. As well as for the T28 prototype, and we will make sure that they will get actually a little bit better positioning than they are right now, especially the T95.
Now, there are some other stuff, like, okay, we already know that there are so many old premium vehicles, but do you plan to have anything new?
Of course. In 2017, we are planning multiple things, but even these three, I think, are really good pieces to think about. So first of all, new piece to the, this is actually will be tier 8 Swedish premium vehicle with the unique STRV system. So you will be actually able to try the siege mode directly with the premium vehicle. It's a prototype. It actually was the first version of the STRV, and it's not all the way there. If you would look into it, it's something similar to the tier 9. But like before they actually came up with some of the improvements, we are still working on the vehicle, but I believe it's going to be really lots of fun. People will be actually able to try out the new suspension. On the other hand, we are working on the new Russian heavy tank, on the 252. It's going to be another part of the Russian family. So you can imagine sturdy turret, the brawler with really good gun. Not great soft stats on the gun, that's not a Soviet tank line. On the other hand, definitely bringing the punch to the battlefield. And the third one we would like to actually show these days, you can actually see it rotating here. Many of you are actually asking for, hey, can you actually bring some of the tank case tanks into the game? Well, here you go. Here is your Carius. We'll be bringing to the game tanks that will be actually around the tank cases during the Second World War. So Abrams, Carius, this will be definitely coming in 2017. This is not all. There's way more that we have prepared, but we would like to actually show these a bit closer when we are actually getting to the area.
Very cool. Thank you, guys. So, I think, if I remember correctly, another slide, that's the slide and the topic we're going to discuss, that's the most common complaints generator. And as far as I know, it should be matchmaking.
Yes.
So, okay.
Look at that. See,
so what's happening
so
there?
heavily contested, it didn't even want to turn over.
Yep, that's a lot of stuff.
So, look, I'll simplify sort of a top line bit, right? There's an unholy trinity of things that people complain about with us. Maps, matchmaker, SPG. That's it, right? Those are the biggest ones. Those are the big complaints all the time. And we've heard them, and like we said, we're listening. We're paying attention, guys. And, you know, look, we wanted to do these things and get to these things as early as we could, but some of these things take some fairly deep systemic changes to take root. And some of the other stuff, we just had to do some of these first features, some of these first changes to be able to get to those. But, you know, Miloš and I talk about this a lot. Look, our goal is at the end of 2017, we want there to be a whole new list of things you guys are bitching about, not the same old ones. So the matchmaker, we're going to make some huge changes to it. I'll give you some of the high points, and Miloš can get into some more of the details as well. We're going to move to more of a sort of a template style matchmaker. So you know, there's kind of approaches and matches that we want. The idea is to try to, you know, wherever possible, you know, limit down so you've got just a few, like 3 at the top tier, 5 middle tier, and then 7 bottom tier vehicles. Which means the bottom tier experience will be less shit, right? You know, you don't necessarily feel like you're useless or valueless in the bottom tier because there's plenty of other people who are there. At the same time, it'll be nice, you know, the high tier guys will be like, woo, tasty snacks, yes! You know, so you get to feel that moment of joy and glee when you're at that high end, right? There's a little more of an exclusive club at that moment. We're going to be more conscious, the matchmaker will be more conscious of classes, so you shouldn't see, you know, lots of, hey, here's 8 tank destroyers and, you know, here's 6 heavy tanks, you know, more sort of balance between them. Not rigid, right? We don't want to be like that, but, you know, more closeness to that. We're going to limit out the number of SPGs in a side to 3. Yeah, so less, you know, party over the sun kind of moments, right? You know, try to open up the battlefield a little bit. So that's a big thing. Now, look, we're also, the thing about a matchmaker is you always have to be very careful about balancing between the perfect match and getting into playing the game quickly, right? We don't want to get so picky with it that, yeah, perfect matches once every 10 minutes, you know, when it's found the perfect match for you. So, you know, especially in off-peak times and things like that, you know, it'll collapse in, you know, you may not see 3-tier battles, you may see less, you know, things like that. But you know, these are the goals, these are the approaches, right? And these are the baseline rules that'll apply. And it'll start by going, okay, can I do this? I want to get to the perfect match. All right, if I can't, now I'll sort of loosen up the rules a little bit and make sure I can get players in quickly. So that's kind of the goal. Miloš, you want to hit some more of the details on this?
For this to be actually working, we are planning to do one more really cool thing that was a little bit of a side effect, but I think the outcome is going to be super cool, and that will be actually LTs all the way until the tier 10. So from the patch we're releasing the matchmaking, we will be actually adding new light tanks, and we will be creating blinds for light tanks tier 9 and 10. These tanks will be mostly focused, you know, something in between of an LT and a medium. So great visibility, amazing mobility, quite good firepower, and great speed. Well, in this combination, you can imagine that like you are basically going for prey. Like you are just going there and trying to get a snack in the battlefield. Some small tanks here and there hidden. One guy who actually didn't go with a group, you will come for him and you will get him down. I'm really looking forward for these tanks to actually come to the battlefield.
So guys, have I understood correctly that the most inconvenient class, let's say this way, light vehicles will get +2, -2 matchmaking. Is this correct?
Well, so what's going to happen is now, like the whole scout matchmaking thing, which is really, it's confusing for new players, right? It's super confusing. That'll be a thing of the past. So now a light tank will be just like every other thing on the battlefield. A tier 10 light tank is the same power level, distribution, all that as a tier 10 heavy or a medium or whatever, right? So they're all balanced towards that. That also means that we'll be able to make another nice move with blocking out. You know, we made some changes, like a soft. With changing this now and with addressing the light tanks and taking them to 10 and all that, now we'll just be able to hard lock out. So you won't be able to do sort of those big gap platoons anymore. So the experience penalty system that we have in place now, that's going to get retired. You'll still get the experience bonus for playing in platoons, but we should finally see the end of the failed platoon affliction that had plagued us earlier.
Okay, cool. Another Christmas present for me, sorry. Okay, just to tell you a bit more that light vehicles extension will happen through existing light vehicle branches. So 5 nations will get light vehicles up to tier 10. For the rest, maybe.
There we go.
Finally. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. So, you mentioned lots of cool stuff like matchmaking and then light vehicles, and there are some. It looks like we're planning huge changes. But last time we were talking to players saying, hey, there's such thing like sandbox. Come on and join us. We care about you. We think about your feedback. What's happening with this sandbox? Do we see any of this stuff coming there?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, again, let's continue the trio, right? Maps, Matchmaker, SPG. We've talked about Matchmaker. So the SPG is going to be one of the things, not the only thing, but one of the things that's still going to be heavily impacted by the sandbox. The sandbox, this is near and dear to my heart. Like, we needed to do a better job of getting real, genuine, deep player feedback long before we were shipping. The super test process is valuable, but it doesn't give us the level of deep knowledge long before that can allow us to make significant changes in development. It's really just little tweaks here and there at that point. And so with the sandbox, we can get real stuff that can really change the nature of what we're doing, And I know it's gone quiet. Everybody, we made a big deal. Oh, sandbox, we're going to do things, rebalance. Yay, everything's huge. And then, we did a thing, and then it kind of went back. Well, we had a few things to ship. We had 9.16 to get through. We had 9.17 to get through. But the sandbox will make a return. There are several things. The beauty of the sandbox is that it did allow us to come up with some things, not only that we feel really good about moving forward with, but things that we're stopping. We're not going to proceed with sort of the hard level of roles, kind of the way that it was in the sandbox. We still think, vehicles have roles that are beyond just their class, right? And we will help new players especially guide and understand through some changes that we'll do over the course to make it more clear, this tank you should probably play more like this style, this tank more like this other style. But we're not going to do sort of the hard, bam, in your face version of that. We're not going to make the kind of significant changes to the stats and things like that based around that role set. We are going to continue forward with the penetration fall-off stuff because we think that helped create better battles, make people feel less afraid to roll out and start, playing the way that, like, heavies shouldn't be sniping from a bush a mile away. They should be getting in and setting the battle line, and so we're going to let them do that. That'll help the dispersion circle, right? A little bit more dispersion inside of the aiming circle will help that. We feel good about what that did at distance. We didn't feel good about what that did when close up, and so we have some work to do on that. That'll get in the sandbox. The overmatch changes that we postponed in 9.17 because we really just, again, it felt a little bit rushed for us, and we wanted to make damn sure that we got it right. And so that's going to get some time in the sandbox because that's exactly the kind of change that the sandbox is meant to encompass. So we've got that, and then SPG. The changes that we had there, where we moved to sort of the stun mechanic, those are going to continue. We're going to move away from the stun being 6.5 months long per shot. Tighten that up a little bit. But we're going to continue forward with those. And so the players, you guys will get to see and be a part of and get involved in the actual changes and get to help us make the right choices so that when we ship these things out, you can feel good about them. Because as one of our guys said, the one thing I don't want to have is that at the end of it, after we get through, the new things to bitch about, that you don't go like, now we're going to bitch about the new maps, the new matchmaker, and the new SPG. So we're going to get your feedback deep in the sandbox first. Anything to add on that?
Maybe a little bit on what you were saying about we were working on 9.16, 9.17. It doesn't mean that we were actually not working on these at all. No, we actually were working on them. So the first sandbox, a lot of the features were actually just in like test version. They were super rough and they were not production server ready. During the last months, we were actually redoing these to the production quality to make sure that the next time the iterations doesn't need to take so long and need to make sure that actually there will be less buggy and that you will get the really close experience to what we would like to do. At the same time, we were polishing up and we were trying to work on the stun durations, on the duration of the shooting mechanics and the shooting patterns, and making sure that actually these numbers are exactly as you were giving us feedback on the forums. Yeah, and actually one more thing, thank you, Thaine, is that we know that there was a lot of problems with, okay, so I will get stunned, but is there any way how actually I can prevent that from happening, or can I actually somewhat get out of it? Well, for sure. So together with the artifacts, we will be actually looking into something called multi-use mechanic for the consumables. So the first one will be the medkit, where you will actually have an option to use your medkit multiple times, and there will be actually a recharge button basically that will actually tell you how long it will take. And at the same time, we will introduce new consumables that will actually give you opportunity to limit the amount of stun you got. So you will be able to not completely prevent it, but not get to so much or so long stun while you're actually driving.
Okay, cool. So before we move to the last slide, where we're not going to talk, we just leave you there and hope you enjoy. But as far as I understand, all of this stuff, we said matchmaker, new light vehicles, all of this is really close to the implementation.
Yeah. Yeah, so look, one of the things that we've changed, right, we're really, really conscious of this. We recognize that, that in the past, there was some over-promising. We talked about, hey, we want to do this, we want to do that, and that's great to share sort of our hopes and ideas, but we shouldn't be sharing, fantasies and theories. We need to be able to tell you about things that we know we're going to ship, that are coming, right? And so when we show you stuff now, that's going to be stuff that we feel really good about, that has, that's more imminent, that's on a glide path into, to landing. So these aren't things that are going to take a million years to do. These are things that you're going to see coming relatively soon. And we'll get more specific as we close in on it.
Okay, cool. So going back to this, still this year we had 4 updates. We know that community perceived those updates quite positively. They noticed some changes. And in one of the updates, we introduced engine update.
Yes.
At that time, for players, it wasn't anything new because it was more like for us, enabling some cool stuff. So can you just comment before we go to that one? So what's happening there?
Yeah. So the engine update allowed us. It was the kickoff of a lot more work that's going to be able to come from there. Getting into DX11, creating sort of where things work graphically. There were some cool immediate benefits, right? Generally, people's performance increased, right? They were able to see sort of higher level stuff at the same frame rate or get better frame out of the same picture, and that was great. But it really was just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what we can do with it. And the R&D team, the engineering team, and the art team have been working really hard on taking up the visual bar for tanks. Look at if you look and Anton on stage showed kind of a nice retrospective actually of where tanks have been. The game's been around for a bit, and you look at the evolution of where we were at the beginning and then sort of stages along the way, and it's been evolving, but it's been a little while since we really kind of upped our game. Really, I think since like the HD tanks is the last like big graphical update. So now we've got some other stuff that'll I think will help one aspect of the map stuff as well, and make things look pretty nice. And then we've got some other things that will come beyond that on the design side as well. Yeah, give it a look.
So guys, let's go. Okay, we're gonna go silent. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, guys, for this absolutely amazing presentation, cool stories, and definitely exclusive information shared. When it comes to the last video, as I'm not sure if Facebook Live managed to capture the quality of the footage that you just presented, will players be able to see it somewhere on the portal maybe soon? Yes, absolutely.
I would like to say one more thing. This was not only a video. So I know that when the first time I actually showed it to the publishing guys, and Artiom was actually there as well, the first feedback was like, yeah, well, this is post-production. This is video, sure thing. Well, yeah, it is video, but this is actually taken directly from the build. And to actually prove this, because I know that there were some false promises before, to prove really this, is actually now from 5 o'clock running here in Moscow, 40 machines where actually players can get the hands-on experience on this awesome new Core 5.0 engine that will be coming in 2017.